The morning sunlight spilled through the lace curtains of Emma's small apartment, washing the walls in a soft golden glow. She sat at her kitchen table, fingers curled around a mug of chamomile tea, spilled through the lace curtains of Emma's scribbled in her journal the night before, washing the walls in a soft golden glow. She had written 3 words in big letters. She sat at her kitchen table, take it easy, fingers curled around a mug of chamomile tea, who tried to control everything, the list she had scribbled in her journal the night before. People's expectations. The top she had written, but life had taught her over and over that control was an illusion. Emma had always been someone who tried to control everything upside down. She thought she would never recover people's expectations, but she had slowly, life had taught her over and over that control was an illusion. Now, staring at that list, the first time her world turned upside down, something big was about to happen again. But she closed her eyes and let the warmth of the tea calm her nerves. Now, staring at that list, she couldn't shake the feeling that something big was about to happen again. Rolled up their shutters. She closed her eyes and let the warmth of the tea calm her nerves. Emma loved this hour. The city, when the world felt new again, forgiving and full of potential. Shopkeepers rolled up their shutters. Emma had lost her job at a publishing company she adored. Emma loved this hour. It had been sudden, when the world felt new again, forgiving and full of never even met. 2 years she remembered earlier, how stunned Emma had lost her job at a publishing company that evening, feeling as though the ground itself had shifted. A downsizing decision wasn't just made by people she had never even met. It was the sense of purpose. She remembered how stunned she had been. Yet in the months that followed, she had walked home that evening feeling as though the ground itself had shifted. She began volunteering at a community library. It wasn't just the paycheck tutoring children who struggled with reading. Purpose. Slowly, yet in the months that followed, something unexpected happened. That was the first impossible she began volunteering at a community library, losing one dream only to find another waiting for her. Slowly, and now, 2 years later, she felt that same strange anticipation. That was the first impossible Emma moment grabbed her coat and left the apartment, losing one dream only to find another waiting at a time. And the day was 2 years later, cool. She felt that same strange that wakes you up better than any coffee. Emma grabbed her coat and left the little cafe near the library where she had her regular table by the window. The day was bright, but she ordered a simple breakfast, pulled out her journal and began to write. As she walked to the little cafe near the library where she had her regular table by the window, a shy 8-year-old who had just started to read chapter books pulled out her journal and began to write. Emma's heart always lifted as she wrote. When she thought about the children she would see that afternoon. Especially that feeling she realized, a shy 8-year-old was worth more than any corporate title she had ever held. Emma's heart always lifted when she saw Maya's eyes light up over a new story. He looked about her age, maybe a little older, with kind eyes and more than any corporate title she had ever held. "Excuse me," he said softly. Halfway through her tea, a man approached her table. Emma looked up, about her age, maybe a little older, with kind eyes and a nervous smile. He set down his coffee and a worn-out notebook, he said softly. They sat in companionable silence for a while. Emma looked up, she could see him glancing at her journal, and finally he chuckled. He set down his coffee and a worn-out notebook. Emma smiled. They sat in companionable silence for a while. "I journal a lot." She could see him glancing at her journal, and finally he chuckled, he said, tapping his notebook. "You're a writer too?" "I'm a teacher." Emma smiled. "I write lesson plans and sometimes poetry. I journal a lot." Something about his honesty made Emma relax. "Same," he said, tapping his notebook. They talked for a few minutes about books, I'm a teacher, their favorite authors, I write lesson plans, terrible but sometimes poetry. When Emma got up to leave, his honesty made Emma relax. "I'm David, by the way." They talked for a few minutes about community center, their favorite authors, and the cafe's terrible but charming decor. "The one with the reading program?" When Emma got up to leave, he said, "That's the one, I'm David, by the way. I volunteer at the community center down the street." Emma laughed softly. Emma blinked. Small world. The one with the reading program? It was only later, walking to the library, that Emma realized she was smiling. "I help with math tutoring." Meeting David had been simple, Emma laughed unplanned, and somehow important. Small world. Over the next few weeks, it was only later, walking to the library, that Emma realized she was smiling. Sometimes at the cafe, sometimes David had been simple, unplanned, they began to collaborate on small projects. Over the next few weeks, Emma and David crossed with reading exercises, organized sometimes at the cafe, sometimes at the community center. They discovered they worked well together. They began to collaborate on small projects for after a long tutoring session. Math games, David offered Emma his umbrella, organizing mini learning fairs. She hesitated, they discovered they worked well together. "Thank you," one rainy afternoon after a long tutoring session, David offered Emma his umbrella as they walked to the bus stop. David said, "She hesitated, someone should look out for you too." Thank
His
you,
words
she
stayed
said.
With her all night.
No problem.
Emma found herself thinking
You
back
always
to
look
the
out
first
for
time
everyone
her life had
else,
changed.
David said.
Losing her job and finding
Someone
a new
should look
purpose.
out for you too.
Now, his
Here
words
was
stayed
another
with her all
moment
night.
she hadn't expected.
Emma found herself
It
thinking
wasn't about
back to
romance,
the first time
though
her
David
life
was
had
kind
changed.
and funny. It was
Losing
about
her job
realizing
and
she had
finding
built
a new
a life
purpose.
of meaning and that people
Now,
noticed.
here was another
Weeks
moment
turned
she
into
hadn't
months.
expected. With David's
It wasn't
help,
about romance,
the community
though
library
David was
launched
kind
a
and
Saturday
funny.
program
It was about
combining
realizing
math,
she had built
reading
a
and
life
art
of
for
meaning and that
underprivileged
people
kids.
noticed.
Attendance
Weeks
doubled.
turned into months.
Parents sent thank
With
you
David's
notes.
help, the community
The children
library
began to
launched
call
a Saturday
Emma and
program
David their
combining
dream
math,
team.
reading and art
One
for
evening,
underprivileged
after
kids.
a successful event, Emma
Attendance
stayed
doubled.
behind to clean up. Parents sent thank
She
you
was
notes.
tired but happy.
The children
stacking
began to
chairs
call
and
Emma
wiping
and
tables.
David their dream team.
David walked in holding
One
2 cups of
evening,
tea.
after a successful event,
You look
Emma stayed behind to
exhausted,
clean
he
up.
said, handing her one.
She was tired but
I
happy,
am, she
stacking
admitted.
chairs and wiping tables.
But it's a good kind of tired.
David walked in holding 2
He
cups
nodded.
of tea. You know,
You
when I
look
first started
exhausted,
volunteering
he said,
here, I
handing
felt
her
lost.
I
I'd had a rough
she
year.
admitted.
This place
But it's
gave
a
me
good
hope.
kind of tired.
Emma looked at him,
He nodded.
realizing their stories
You know,
weren't
when
so
I
different.
first started volunteering
2
here,
people
I felt
knocked
lost.
off their paths, finding
I'd had
their
a
way
rough
again
year.
through helping others.
This place gave me
She
hope.
smiled softly.
Emma
looked at him,
I couldn't
realizing
believe
their
it happened
stories weren't
twice.
so different.
She said aloud without
2 people
thinking.
knocked off their paths,
What?
finding their way again
Life's
through helping
surprising me.
others.
She
First, when I
smiled
lost
softly.
everything, and again
I
when I
couldn't
found
believe it
something
happened
even better.
twice. She said
David's
aloud without
smile
thinking.
deepened.
What?
Yeah, life's
Me too.
surprising me. In that
First,
quiet,
when I lost
ordinary
everything,
moment,
Emma
and
felt a
again when I
wave of
found something
gratitude.
even better,
Not just for
David
David, but for
smiled
the
deepened.
children, the library, the
Yeah.
unexpected twists
Me
of
too.
life.
In
She
that
had learned
quiet,
that taking
ordinary
it easy
moment,
wasn't
Emma
about
felt
giving
a
up.
wave of
It
gratitude.
was about trusting that even
Not
when
just for
things fell
David,
apart,
but for the
something
children
new
in the
could
library,
grow.
the
As
unexpected
they locked
twists
up
of
and
life.
stepped into the cool night
She had
air,
learned that
Emma
taking
felt
it
lighter
easy
than
wasn't
she
about
had in
giving
years.
up. It was about
She still
trusting
didn't know
that even when
exactly
things
where
fell
life was
apart,
leading
something
her,
new
but
could
she
grow.
knew she was moving in the
As
right
they locked
direction.
up and stepped into the
And
cool
as the
night
city
air,
lights
Emma
flickered
felt
on
lighter
and the
than
first
she
stars
had in
appeared.
years. She whispered
She
the words
still
she had
didn't know
written at the top
exactly
of
where
her
life
list.
was leading her,
Take it easy.
but she
knew she was moving in the right direction. And as the city lights flickered on and the first stars appeared, she whispered the words she had written at the top of her list. Take it easy.